Hello, this is group 15 covering histrionic personality disorder. I am your speaker, Michael, and the group consists of me, Maria Cruz Alvarez, and Angelica. We are adapting the story The Emperor's New Clothes. There was once an emperor who was obsessed with all forms of fashion. To be beautiful and nicely dressed was of the utmost importance to him. There was no expense spared as the emperor pursued the nicest attire that could be found within his domain. He decreed that he must have an outfit for each occasion, including one for each hour. Weavers were a common sight in the palace, with the emperor always alternating between weavers so as to stay on top of the most recent trends. There was hardly anything abnormal when two men arrived claiming that they too were weavers looking to serve the emperor. What was abnormal was what they claimed to weave, clothes so fine that only those fit for power could perceive them. The emperor became excited by the prospect that he could sniff out those unworthy to serve beneath him, and hastily commissioned the two weavers to begin work on the new clothes. Two large looms were set up in a great room for the weavers to work in. Weeks passed, and the emperor became concerned about the lack of news from the men. His chief priest was deployed to check up on the men and assess their progress. When the priest analyzed the men's workshop, he saw that there was not any silk on the looms. All that echoed through his mind was that those who should not wield power cannot perceive the clothes. To save face, he shook the men's hands and congratulated them on their tremendous work and departed, but not before fulfilling the men's request for more silk and gold. The priest reported to the emperor that all was well, but the ruler was not convinced. Sending another adviser to check on the clothes' progress proved ineffective as the same process repeated. The adviser, also attempting to save face, pretended to see the supposed clothing that the weavers had. All is well, the adviser told the emperor. The emperor, excited to hear this, quickly assembled a troop of court officials and ventured to the workshop. The two weavers ushered the court in, boasting of the magnificence of the clothes. Look at how tremendous it is, the court shouted as each of them stared at an empty loom. The emperor was puzzled. Why could he not see this brilliant silk? Was he not fit to be in power? Nonsense! Why, it is the most splendid thing I have ever seen, he cried. I must say that I will look most splendid in this. The crowds will adore me, he bellowed while gesturing to an imaginary audience. As a reward for their efforts, the weavers were bestowed crosses to attach to their clothing and granted the title of Sir Weaver. That night the weavers set up a row of candles to be lit throughout the night. Surely they must be working hard if their room was lit through the night. They went through all the motions involved in weaving, spinning the bare loom, cutting the imaginary silk, making sure to exaggerate the commotion. The day of the parade came, and the emperor prepared to celebrate whilst donning his brand new attire. Summoning the weavers, they held out their arms as if they were presenting him with the clothing. You must undress, sir, and don your new outfit. We have taken extra care so that it may feel so light that one could mistake themselves as wearing nothing at all, the weavers said. The emperor quickly undressed, and they mimed putting the clothes on him. It is beautiful, sire. These colors are unmatched by any other, the court proclaimed, reassuring the emperor. It is time to join your carriage, your majesty, alerted one of the servants. The emperor began his march through the city squares, flashing the audience with his appearance. The crowd cheered as the emperor gestured ever so elegantly. Chants boasting of how magnificent his suit was echoed across the streets. No one dared to admit what they were seeing. That would label them as a fool. Where are his clothes, Mamma? Spoke a child. Don't be silly, the mother replied. They are right in front of you. No, they aren't, the crowd finally shouted, breaking the facade. The emperor shrugged and figured the show must go on, and so off he stomped, as confident as before, throughout the parade. Thank you very much.